Hey everyone, Seth Scrimo here again with the best of Wooster. Today I have a special guest on our show. We have Blair from Bosco's Pizza Kitchen. He's going to tell us a little bit about his story and how he became into the business and kind of what's going on. Blair, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me here today.
Awesome. All right, well, we're going to get into the questions here. So, what's the story and the concept of your pizza shop? How do you balance the tradition with innovation?
Well, the story behind our pizza shop is it was started about 13 years ago. It's actually named after my partner's grandfather, whose nickname was Bosco, because of a brown corduroy suit that his wife made him one year for Christmas. He worked in a steel mill and he would wear it to work, and they called him Bosco because he looked like Bosco the bear, if you remember who that is. I mean, you're going back a little ways there. And that nickname stuck with him throughout the rest of his life. So when it came time to start the concept, they decided to name it after their grandfather. That's why it's Bosco's Pizza Kitchen.
So what inspired you to get into the pizza business? Was this something you always saw yourself doing?
You know, I love to cook. And when I was younger, I always kind of thought I might end up being a chef. I just didn't go that direction in my life. How I got into the pizza business, I had worked for a company for a number of years. And back during the recession of 2008, 2009, they pulled out of the state of Ohio. So I didn't have a job. And I kind of bounced around for a couple years. My partner Beth's father owned the east of Chicago in Wooster and said, he can work there a couple nights a week until he finds something better. I got in the pizza business and never got out because I liked it so much.
For sure, yeah. Plus, you always have something to eat, right?
Right, yeah, that's for sure.
How did Beth's family here in Worcester, their pizza, help influence you to decide to join the field?
Well, I mean, Carl offered me a job when I needed one, but then after a couple years, he decided to kind of change courses in management, and I became the general manager of his shop. I did that for 10 years, and their influence was just, especially Carl Sr., just the mentorship that he provided, what I learned from him. That's pretty much where we're at right now. I mean, I take a lot of lessons I learned from Carl and apply them on a daily basis at our shop now.
Awesome. All right, so let's talk about some of these lessons. Let's say we could go back in time and we could go to some of the toughest challenges that you faced when you were starting out. How did you overcome them?
Well, I think you have to set your ego aside. I mean, there were times that Carl and I butted heads pretty dramatically, and I, after seeing a couple times that I kind of wanted to buck the trend that he wanted to do, and I didn't, and it worked. And so I kind of just put my ego aside and listened to him and followed through with what he wanted to do, how he wanted to do it. And we were successful for a long time.
What trends are you seeing right now in the pizza industry? And how do they influence your menu or your approach?
Well, right now, probably the biggest thing is people are looking for healthier options. The cauliflower crust, the gluten-free options, fresh vegetables, which we do all of that. That's from a product standpoint. Just from a customer standpoint, we're obviously seeing the growth of third-party delivery systems, DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats. And how that affects us is we do a DoorDash. We do try to offer some healthier options, and it's a business of trends, and you just have to figure out which ones you want to do and which ones you want to kind of let slide by.
As a business that's always evolving, how do you decide on which trends to incorporate and which ones to leave behind?
Well, I'm fortunate in that I have an awesome team, a crew of people that are average, probably in their mid-20s. So they come to me with a lot of ideas, what they're seeing, at other places on social media, and we try them. We'll try to put something together that they see. Some work, some don't work. We've done like a macaroni and cheese pizza with bacon. That stayed on our menu. We've done some other pizzas that they've come up with. We're doing Cajun fries now, which was an idea from somebody that works for us. We just allow people kind of in their downtime there to kind of be creative and put together what they think will work. We'll try them. We have a little test kitchen. If it works, it works. We put it on the menu. Once it gets on the menu, if it's not selling or we have issues with it, then we just take it off the menu. But we've had several concepts that they've come up with that have stuck on our menu for quite a long time now.
What steps do you take to continue growing professionally in such a competitive industry?
I do listen to a lot of industry specific podcasts, and one of them specializes in just listening to other pizza shop owners or operators being interviewed. And that sounds like a crazy concept, but here we are today doing the same thing, right? So I stay kind of current with what other people are doing through podcasts. There's industry publications, but those aren't a big influence on us, but it's mostly podcasts.
Community engagement is a big part of your business as well as is mine. What are some ways you connect with your customers and how do you give back?
Well, we do a lot. I mean, that's one of our core values is to support the community that supports us. We've done some fundraisers for the Ezra Swartz Trooper boy that was struck by a car on Bell Avenue last year. That was hugely successful. It was so successful on a Tuesday night that we ran out of food. We had to borrow food from another.
Amen.
Yeah, and we did one for the car accident up in the Crescent area that took the life of that young girl and injured another boy. We donate team meals to any Wooster High School sports team. They get one free team meal from us every season. We also do some work with Triway and Northwestern. We give discounted pizza to Wooster Robotics, Wooster Speech and Debate. We do a lot of pizzas at their big tournament that they just had. We donate to golf outings for, charitable causes and things like that. We want to be part of the community for sure.
Where do you see yourself in your business in 5 years? What would you say is your vision in the future for Bosco's Pizza Kitchen?
Well, in 5 years, I'll be in my mid-60s, so I hope to be able to still be slinging pizzas on a daily basis. Our vision is just to continue to grow, just continue to integrate ourselves into the community. Any business that's not growing, you need to look at and figure out why you're not growing. So we'd like to continue to grow, and I'd like to be able to go in there every day in the next 5 years.
What advice would you give to someone dreaming of opening their own pizza shop or starting a similar business?
Well, I would say the first thing you would need to do is kind of just get a clear vision of what you want to do. And that would start with probably your product. There's so many different kinds of pizza. There's New York, there's Chicago, there's Detroit style, there's the people on the West Coast that are doing a lot of sourdough pizza crust. I would say that you would need to define what you want your product to be, how you want your product to be, and then figure out a system how to do that. I would also say that it's going to take longer than you want it to. It's going to take longer than you think it's going to, but you have to show up every day and continue to work. I was actually listening to another podcast, a sports podcast, and they had a quarterback on there, a former quarterback, and he said, every day is tough. You just have to wake up every morning and decide you're going to be tougher than whatever comes your way that day. And I think when you get into that mind, you can work through those days where maybe you're not selling anything or your cooler breaks down or the health department shows up or the tax bill shows up. You just have to work at it. I mean, it's not going to come easy, that's for sure.
So let's say you have a Friday night off. Right now, where's your go-to spot for dinner?
Well, pizza shop owners don't go out to dinner on Friday night because that's their big night. If it were any night other than Friday, we would probably go to the steakhouse at the old jail in the basement. That's probably our favorite local place. Yeah, that would be my answer for sure.
What's the best thing about your life right now? And how does family play a role in it?
Well, I mean, the best thing in my life right now is just how my life's going. I mean, I have a phenomenal partner. I have 2 children that are both healthy. I have a granddaughter who lives in North Carolina that, through the miracle of FaceTime, I'm able to talk to a couple times a week. She's 6. She's in 1st grade. She's funny. I just really enjoy being able to talk to her and just kind of being at home with Beth and the dog. So that's pretty good for me.
Especially right now when it's so cold, right?
Yeah, right, for sure.
Do you have any mentors or family members who played a significant role in your journey?
Well, yeah, for sure. Beth's dad, Carl, he mentored me for the first 10 years of my pizza career. What's funny is I was listening to an audio book today called No One's Coming to Save You. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's by a retired Special Forces officer. And he was talking about his dad who said they would go into the woods in Arkansas when he was a kid and in the snow. And his dad would always say, you have to leave tracks, leave something behind, leave your legacy behind. And I really look at what I learned from Carl over the years was just him leaving tracks for me to be able to pick up and continue in the right direction. I followed his tracks into this business.
Yeah, it's very important to have those grooves and build upon it, right?
Yes, for sure.
So, pizza goes well with movies. What's your all-time favorite movie, and how does it resonate with you personally or professionally?
My favorite all-time movie is Tombstone. How it relates to me is, I guess when I look at Val Kilmer playing Doc Holliday, I'm kind of a smart aleck, and so I appreciated some of his candor in that movie. Yeah, that's probably it.
Awesome. So let's say someone wants to get a pizza from Bosco's Pizza Kitchen. What is the best way for them to order? And if someone needs to get in contact with you, how would they do that?
Yeah, the best way to order pizza is either to call the store at 330-345-4400. You can order online at boscospizzacitchen.com. We're also on DoorDash. If someone needed to get a hold of me, you could call the store. If I'm there, I'll take your call. If not, I will call you back for sure.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you want to tell our listeners?
No, I just appreciate the opportunity to kind of tell our story a little bit, and hope to see everybody in the shop soon.
Sounds good. And if anyone else needs any contact information, you can reach out to myself at 330-221-1547. Thanks. You guys have a great day. Bye.